Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. So, Manchester United have failed with Ole Gunnar Solsjaer because we have failed to sign any of his priority targets. And we missed out on a lot of targets throughout the course of the summer transfer window. We obviously missed out on Jadon Sancho. He was one of our priority targets. We also missed out on Jack Grealish. He was one of our priority targets. We also missed out on Dyer Upamecano from Leipzig. We also missed out on Nathan Ake. Ousmane Dembele, we missed out on him. Don't forget, towards the end of the window, we inquired about getting him on loan. We also missed out on Ismail Assar. We missed out on Federico Chiesa. We missed out on Sergio Reguilon. In reality, Manchester United should have signed Sergio Reguilon. And we also missed out on Bale. Back in January, we missed out on Erling Haaland, and like I said, it was a shame that we missed out on Erling Haaland because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, and we also missed out on Jude Bellingham. And yeah, the board fail another manager. I think the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired have not been backed enough. And throughout the course of the summer transfer window, Solskjaer had revealed a few times at least that he was very infuriated with the board over the lack of transfer business. Now, we've been very critical of the board for several years, reflects on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've obviously overpaid for players and all of that. Woodward's been at the football club since 2012. They've been with us around 8 years. And the Glazers have been with us since 2005, so they've been with us around 15 years. Matt Judge, he's been at the club now around 7 years or so, and he's accountable for some of the failure of transfers. But I think the biggest culprits are the Glazers because, they're the ones that recommended Woodward in and also recommended Matt Judge in. And I don't think the Glazers have got any intentions of selling the football club, and they've no intentions of getting rid of Ed Woodward, have they? But, in regards to the lack of transfer activity and all of that, Solskjaer's totally blameless in that aspect. Because he publicly admitted that Manchester United have obviously got to spend money. But in the summer transfer window, we ended up making 5 signings. We obviously got Donny van der Beek. He's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. And we made 4 signings on deadline day. So that's when we did our business. Obviously, we got Edison Cavani in. Edison Cavani's obviously our new number 7. There's a delay regarding his debut because of COVID-19 restrictions. We obviously got Edison Cavani on a free transfer. He signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around £200,000 a week. We obviously brought Alex Telles in. He's currently going to wear the number 27 shirt for Manchester United. We got Alex Telles for just over £15 million. I think there was also add-ons included. Signed a 4-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. I'm very delighted that we got him in because he is a left back, and I said Man United needed a left back. We also got Facundo Pellistri in from Club Atletico Penarol. We've paid around $9 million for him. He's signed a 5-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. And he's currently going to wear the number 28 shirt for Manchester United. And Amad Traore, he's joining the football club in January from Atlanta. I think we're getting him in a deal worth $37.2 million. We're paying like $19 million up front with $18.1 million in add-ons. And obviously, back in January, we brought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo in. And last summer, we recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. So Solskjaer has spent over £200 million since he got recommended in as Manchester United manager. I think the best signings he's made though is Bruno Fernandes. He's the best. Donny van de Beek, he's very good, and Alex Telles. They are the three best signings. We've also, seen a lot of players leave since Ole Gunnar Solsjaer got recommended into the club. Obviously, in the summer transfer window of this year, we obviously saw Diego Dalot go out on loan to AC Milan. We saw Andres Pereira go out on loan to Lazio. Tahith Chong went out on loan. Dylan Levitt went out on loan. I think Joe Pereira loaned him out again for another season. Chris Smalling, he left on deadline day to join Roma on a permanent deal. I think he signed like a 3-year deal with Roma, but farewell to Chris Smalling, because Chris Smalling was a long-serving player for Man United. I think he must have enjoyed a good 10 years with us, made around 323 appearances in all competitions. We did get Smalling in 2010. Don't forget last season, he was out on loan with Roma. Alexis Sanchez, he joined Inter Milan permanently. Obviously, Lukaku left the club in the summer of 2019. He went to Inter Milan. Obviously, Herrera left in the summer of 2019, which is obviously last summer. He went to PSG. We let him go on a free transfer. Fellaini, he left in January 2019. Darmian, he left the football club. Valencia and Young also left the football club. Angel Gomez left the football club, didn't they? But there's still a couple of more players that Manchester United are looking to get rid of. I'll give you the news regarding Jesse Lingard earlier on today. This was stemming from Rob Dawson from ESPN. He says that FC Porto want Jesse Lingard on a long season loan. I'd prefer us to get rid of him permanently, but if we get rid of him on loan, it's better than nothing. But Lingard, could leave the club sometime this week. A few weeks ago, it said that Tottenham were interested in Jesse Lingard because Jose Mourinho's keen on a reunion with the player. Said Tottenham were preparing to put around the £30 million bidding for him. It mentioned that Zenit St. Petersburg were interested, but Jesse Lingard has found game time difficult at the club since Bruno Fernandes came in. He isn't a regular starter now anyway, is he, Lingard? But he has been part of the club for several years. Phil Jones and Rojo, they're another two players that we're looking to offload. Sergio Romero, don't forget he's open to leaving the football club. Romero is now third choice goalkeeper because obviously Dean Henderson had returned not so long ago. Romero will want to be at Manchester United as third choice goalkeeper. Romero's enjoyed a good 5 years or so now at the club. Obviously, we got Romero on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. So, yeah. I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will end up getting sacked as Manchester United manager. I don't think he'll get sacked at this present time. We'll give it at least a couple more games to see how things go. But he's under serious pressure. We've had a bad start to this season. We've already lost 2 of our 3 opening league games, haven't we? We lost our opening game against Crystal Palace by 3-1. That was our worst defeat on an opening day of a Premier League season for 25 years. We recently lost to Tottenham by 6-1 at Old Trafford. That was our worst defeat since Alex Ferguson's retirement. And last time we lost 6-1 before that game against Tottenham was to Manchester City back in 2011. And that's 9 years or so ago now. And Solskjaer made an admission after that game saying that it was his worst day in his managerial career. But he said, it's obviously not the worst thing in Manchester United's history because he knows that we've bounced back from positions like that before. And to be honest with you, we was lucky to beat Brighton in the league. You know, beating them by 3-2, but in reality it should have ended 2-2, shouldn't it? So that would have been points dropped there if we hadn't been given that penalty after the final whistle. Probably the best game we've had so far this season was the 3-0 win against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. But, you know, we are sitting 16th in the Premier League at the moment, and we've registered 3 points from our opening 3 league games. You know, we're now in a similar situation to what we was in at the first part of last season, because don't forget the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, you know, Solsjaer was very close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. Now, like I mentioned earlier on, what has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got to do to avoid being sacked as Manchester United manager? And that's obviously no results. They've got to obviously get much better. Obviously, players have got to step up to the plate, because there's players at Manchester United that are inconsistent, and there's players that have had bad starts to this season. Like I mentioned, Bissaka, he's had a bad start to this season. Lindelof's been poor, Maguire's been poor, Luke Shaw's been poor. I think Fred McTominay, Matic have been poor, Pogba's been poor. David De Gea, he shouldn't remain our number one. This is something else Solskjaer's getting wrong. You know, he needs to put Dean Henderson now as number one. You know, David De Gea now is too much of a liability, isn't he? And I think, you know, he's got to exceed his expectations. I think Solskjaer has to guide us to a top 4 finish and win a trophy with the club if he's to keep his job at Manchester United. But I don't see that happening the way things are going at the moment. I definitely want us to win a trophy, because we've obviously not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Solskjaer era. We haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. You know? I think Solskjaer's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at Manchester United. If we do decide to sack him, it will only cost us £4 million. That's totally contrast to the 18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Don't forget. But I think Pochettino will be Manchester United's next manager, like I mentioned earlier on today. I think Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer. He'd suit the strappings of the club if he comes in. He's dealt with top players. He's well proven in the Premier League. You know, Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his managerial tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. You know, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final last year. I think in May 2018, Mauricio Pochettino had agreed a 5-year deal with Tottenham. So when Tottenham sacked him, he was under contract. I think Tottenham must have paid over 12 million to sack him. But they made a mistake getting rid of him. You know, Pochettino's been managerless now for almost a year, because he was sacked around 11 months ago, wasn't he? But we have contacted his representatives, and Pochettino was linked with the managerial role at Man United before Solskjaer got the job in December 2018. He was actually the favourite to take over. Duncan Castles, who was close to Man United, he said that some of Pochettino's insiders are convinced that he will be offered the job. This is what Duncan Castles had said to the Transfer Window podcast. My only element of concern about Pochettino is that he's not won anything in terms of silverware, but there's Manchester United fans that are saying, you know, we've got to get a manager in with a proven pedigree, such as a Jurgen Klopp or a Pep Guardiola for prime example. You know, Solskjaer, he was a great player for the football club for 11 years, flourished under Ferguson's guidance. He was a super sub, weren't he? But he just hasn't got that proven pedigree, has he? You know, I don't think he's good enough to be a manager. He's gained managerial experience. You know, flexing how long he's been at Manchester United. Solskjaer's been at the football club now for almost 2 years. You know, it's the 3rd club in his managerial career and all of that. But he isn't good enough, is he? Let's be honest. You know, there's positives, you know, to take regarding Solskjaer. You know, last season did well. Exceeded most of his expectations. Obviously, got us to 3 semi-finals. That was the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final, and the EFL Cup semi-final. Also got us qualification for the Champions League, and I did say how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure, and also got us 3rd place, didn't he? He's made some good signings so far. I also like the way that Solsjaer has promoted the youth as well, because the young players have been given their opportunities, and he's also brought more academy players in to the football club. We've also had some good periods under him. We've been on unbeaten runs. Went on a 19-game unbeaten run, was it towards the end of last season? Went on a 14-game unbeaten run in the Premier League. Went on a good unbeaten run when Solskjaer first came in as the temporary boss. But like I said, would it solve a lot if we sacked him? Man United haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. We did sack David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho, didn't we? And in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch-up, We haven't only had different managers with different philosophies, We've spent a hell of a lot of money. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players. We've recruited over 30-odd players since the Ferguson era. I think we must have spent a good £500-odd million since 2016. We just haven't been the same team since Ferguson's retirement. And I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United, like I've mentioned before, to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Ferguson did. You know what I mean? Ferguson enjoyed 26, 27 years at Manchester United, won a total of 38 major honours, but he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it for 7 years. Like I said to you, we are the most successful team in Premier League history. I think we're a long way away yet from winning another Premier League title, at least 3 to 4 years off. I was hoping this season that Manchester United could have mounted a title challenge up. But obviously at the moment, City and Liverpool are strides ahead of us, aren't they? But let's also put into the equation, Solskjaer's inheriting players here from other managerial eras. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, like I've mentioned before. But there's around 10 senior players that are his now, because in total I think he's brought around 10 senior players in to the football club, hasn't he? But I want his managerial tenure to work out. But, if he does get sacked, I will still always love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer no matter what. And that is it. And that is it. I will always love him. Obviously, our next game is against Newcastle at St James's Park. That is after the international break. That's a game Manchester United must win. We've got difficult games coming up. Newcastle, PSG in our first group stage game of the Champions League. Then it's Chelsea. Leipzig's coming up soon. Arsenal's also coming up, and we've got to win these games. And if we do, maybe it will ease the pressure off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a bit. To be fair, our record against the top 6 sides last season was actually, good. But I don't think Newcastle will be that easy, to be honest with you. Newcastle, to be fair, have made some good signings. Obviously, they brought Jamal Lewis in, Ryan Fraser, Jeff Henrik, Callum Wilson. I think they also recently brought someone else in. Newcastle's current manager is Steve Bruce, isn't it? Was it last summer, if I'm right, that Rafa Benitez resigned as Newcastle manager? A lot of Newcastle fans were disappointed about that. They were supposed to be overtaken by the Saudi Arabians, but obviously it hasn't happened, so Mike Ashley is still currently at Newcastle, isn't there? We lost at St James's Park last season by 1-0, didn't we? But like I said, we've still got some good players in our team. You know, I think Marcus Rashford's very, very good. Martial's good. Greenwood's good. Brandon Williams is good. You know, Bruno Fernandes is good. Donny van de Beek's good. But there's still players that have obviously got to improve, isn't there? You know. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.